300 bags of food to give to our community members. And I would really encourage everybody to go see the line of food distribution. There's a big need of food in our community, and so if you haven't done it yet, I would encourage you to volunteer or even give to your local food shelter, because that's a big need.
We have time for at least one more audience question before we do closing remarks.
I submitted 2 questions yesterday online.
I was going to read.
Okay, I'll just come out and say it. Okay. City of Cornelius, you guys talk about your constituents, the Latino community. You talk about this amazing library. What you neglect to talk about is there are 45 apartments above this library for seniors and disabled. 2.5 years ago, a quarter of our residents went over to City Hall begging that you would relocate the market in the Friday market in an area that would be more equitable for the vendors there, that they could be seen here on the highway instead of behind the library. Also, we have seniors and disabled upstairs. We are told every Friday we must move our cars by a certain time, otherwise they're going to be towed at our expense. We are on limited budgets. We are seniors and disabled. We are a senior community. I haven't heard one word about your constituents here who are seniors. I've heard about the library. I've heard about the Latinos. I think that's great, but that's an issue. And we beg you, don't make us move our cars. We have parking permits. And the other thing too, the road racers here from early evening till 2 in the morning, and it's probably a state thing, school speed limit stops here. We are the only residential here on Adair. I invite you all to come up to our apartments and listen to that. Sometimes I'm on the phone or watching TV, and between the loud mufflers, the boom, 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 all the way down, it's ridiculous. I've talked to the police several times. You know what I was told? We know about it, but we don't have, and it's probably true, enough officers to sit there, do something about it. We're seniors and we're disabled, and we like the respect because the City of Cornelius is not a good neighbor to any of us. And you guys have not even acknowledged that we live up above the library of this community. So please pay some mind to that aspect.
Okay, so
Thank you so much. What was your name again?
My name's Nancy.
Nancy, thank you, Nancy. First of all, I'd like to apologize. Our senior community is part of our Cornelius community, and you're right. A lot of times seniors are often overlooked or placed to the side, and I want to apologize and let you know that if I become mayor, I think that your complaints are valid. We have to be able to accommodate you. Parking is one of the things we can probably look into in accommodating you in that. One of the things, I also live on a street where I hear mufflers in the middle of the night, and that bothers me. And so I would propose even to put speed light cameras and see if that could reduce some of the street racing or a lot of the high speeds, that unnecessarily high speeds that people go through in our streets. I've also heard of people going fast in other areas of the neighborhood that I think even putting speed bumps would probably be a deterrent, because a lot of times the cars are really low to the ground and it would cause great damage to their cars, so they would think 2-3 times before trying to speed through. And so I think speed bumps would be a good alternative if we can't put in cameras. But Nancy, I apologize, and you are part of our community, and thank you for your advocacy for your community and the residents that live here.
I'm sorry you feel unheard on this. I've heard that. I've talked with the city manager. And I understand that one of the problems was it wasn't clearly explained when the senior affordable housing was worked through, that part of the plan was that we would have a community space behind this building, that it was part of the original plan. It was part of the desire when the community came together and listed out all the things on the boards. They voted, they put dots. What did they want this library to be? That's how we got the Walters room up here, the expanded area of it, the conference rooms in the back, the children's area, the teen area, and the area out back. That has all been part of the plan. Can we look for somewhere to move that? Absolutely, I think we can work on that. And my understanding from discussing with the city manager, there is an opportunity to work on parking for people that are actually carrying disabled permits. We can work on ways to make sure that those have close parking. We can work on that. We've made those accommodations in the past. The accomplishment of the 45 senior affordable housing units upstairs is part of the library accomplishment. We set a milestone of an example that a lot of people, we found one other example, and we said that is a great idea, and we ran with it and developed this with our partners in the affordable housing development. This was done on purpose. This wasn't an accident. But if we need to make, it's not the only mistake we made, right? We didn't think about a smoke shed. When we were thinking about senior affordable housing, we weren't thinking about people smoking. And the other one we missed was a potty pad for the dogs. We didn't think about that. That wasn't on the list of things. So yeah, there's absolutely room for improvement on here. And we got to work in partnership together. Because I'm proud of the accomplishment of the senior affordable housing. And I think we just need to be able to work together. But we just got to sit down and actually talk through it. Thank you.
That would be great.
Okay, we're going to move into closing remarks, and I'm going to give each candidate 3 minutes for closing remarks, if they have a couple extra. And we'll start with Jeff.
Closing remarks. I want to thank the Chamber for putting this together, so it was one more opportunity for the folks to hear and see Chris and I, and understand we're not 180 degrees apart on things. We actually both want the community to move forward in a positive thing. You don't see Chris and I up here arguing and arm wrestling over this. We don't have a dramatically dissimilar appearance on where we want the community to go. It's different points, different areas, right? I mean, and that's what you'll see and what's in the voters pamphlet and probably what you heard here tonight. I think I'd be remiss not to talk about a little more about House Bill 2001. Upside, Cornelius was already doing these things. We already had accommodations for duplexes and triplexes, but it was to be built. If you go down to South Cornelius, we have row homes. We have those things. If you go up to 19th Avenue, Suspower on the way out of town, we have condominiums and we have row homes. We did those on purpose. The problem with House Bill 2001 was the state tried to mandate things beyond their real envelope of where they should be working, because they don't know exactly what's going on, what each community needs, the difference between us or Troutdale or Beaverton. They don't know what's going on in those neighborhoods. The cities are the best people to really do that. That's why Oregon has home rule that allows the cities to make and do the law and the development it needs to do. The downside of HB 2001, it eliminates naturally occurring low-cost homes. When you have older homes and smaller homes on a property, they're naturally lower cost. And if you take that out, and this is what we've seen with the experiment in Portland, you end up putting in dramatically more expensive brand new homes. They're energy efficient, they're great places, but if you don't put anywhere for people to park, then they don't have an ability to do what we have to do out here. The numbers don't lie. We have longer commutes and lower incomes. And that's one of the reasons I fought for us to be able to have the ability for folks to park their car at their home where it's safer. Hillsborough had a problem. They put it in a high-rise development. The developer charged for parking. And so people started parking on the streets, and then they had their cars broken into and their catalytic converters cut off because their cars weren't near their homes and they weren't dying. So that's why I fight for those, right? I fight for our people, and we need to be able to keep, you probably talk to some of the people that are doing that work, so your day job. So I just say thank you for the opportunity, and Chris and I had a great breakfast the other day, and I'm sure we will continue to work together in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again for the chamber putting this together, and just to kind of piggyback a little bit off what Mr. Dillon said. Yeah, we went to breakfast at 9 a.m. and both of our wives were calling us at about 12 p.m. like where are you guys? What are you guys doing? And it was almost simultaneous. And I think the reason for that is because we both care. We both care about the community, and we want to see it prosper and flourish. And we want people to know that we're here to work for them. Nancy, again, thank you so much for bringing light to that, because I don't think we are perfect, but I think that if you speak, we have to listen. That's our job. That's part of public service. It's making sure people's voices are heard, and there's follow through with that. And so, a lot of times, I know growing up when I was younger, my parents, they're not big political fans. They told me you only see politicians twice, once when they're running, and the other time when they're running for re-election. And so I think there is some truth to that, but I can tell you, I do what I can to be a big part of my community. And, on Sundays, at 9 a.m. you can find me at Silence, our local church here in San Alejandro, and I try to do what I can to be a part of the little subunits in my community, and see how we can really help Cornelius come together and prosper. Cornelius is, or